to overtime. Dwayne Wade right at the body of Anderson Varejao. Welcome to your Kodak moment, Anderson Varejao.
Doncic pulls up, three-pointer. Bang! Bang! It's good! Doncic!
Next up, though, there's one big player that was supposed to go to Chicago, actually, but fell pretty heavily, and that's Deni Avdija out of Israel. And I really want to explain why he fell, because I feel like I see a lot of people talking about, like, oh no, he fell, he's going to be so good in Washington. I cannot think of a single player in this draft that went to a worse fit than Deni Avdija going to the Wizards. Because, look, they want him to be a 3-and-D wing, and the shot just isn't there for him to be a 3-and-D wing. And that's why he fell, because people don't trust the shot, and they don't trust his athleticism, and he has benefited so much off the Luka hype in the same way that Dragan Bender benefited from the Kristaps Porzingis hype. And that's sad. Of course, just like with Rui Hachimura last year, I'll be rooting for them to succeed, but I think Rui is just a stat stuffer. So he fills up the box score without really getting anything done. And I think Avdija is going to really struggle because he's not a great defender. He's a decent team defender. Washington has next to no defensive talent. It's not that they're bad there. It's that when your starters are Bradley Beal, Rui Hachimura, whoever else you want there, and now Deni Avdija, and I like Thomas Bryant. I assume he's going to be the starter. And then a John Wall coming off of an Achilles injury. You're not really going to be a good defensive team. Last year it was like Shabazz Napier and Ish Smith who were the starting point guards. And, as much as I appreciate the world of backup point guards, neither of them are really going to do much for you on the defensive end. So there you go. The Wizards are kind of screwed. Let's get back to Avdija. Avdija, the issues were that you can't trust the shot right now. You can't trust the athleticism. And Avdija is nowhere near the player Luka was in Europe. Or, in the Israeli league. I don't think, look, I had him mocked at 4 once because Bulls fans are relentless. And I had him mocked at 6 once because I thought playmaking on the wing alongside Trae Young to get the ball out of his hands could help. I don't think it will help John Wall or Bradley Beal very much because Bradley Beal already presumably has the other ball handler in John Wall, and they're going to make Deni Avdija into a 3-and-D wing. I would not be surprised to see Avdija absolutely fail flat out of the gates his first year because he's not a great look. You can be a smart, skillful player and succeed. There's a lot of players who aren't great athletes. And a lot of defense is effort. I don't think the culture of Washington is going to demand effort from him on the defensive end. I don't think he's going to get enough touches to show off his greatest skill, which is his playmaking at his height. His handle was a little shaky because he dribbled way too high. And at that point, his shooting isn't anything crazy either. Just like 4 months ago or 5 months ago, he was shooting awful numbers. So I was not a big fan of Deni Avdija, but that's why he fell. Because there's so little you can trust there, and if you're not going to use his playmaking, you're just not going to use him. That's the issue.